All right, y'all. We're going to ask y'all questions today.
Nice. Go ahead.
So, no. Then y'all just said that I said it, and it was y'all. But y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just finished our third day of practice this week, getting back out on the field. So, this time of year is a good combination of resting your body, getting healthy, getting players back healthy, and mending up things that you're not doing well or didn't do well, and improving on that, and adding complementary things to your offense, defense, kicking game, and improving overall as a team. So, we met as a team on Tuesday and discussed the game, really kind of put it to bed. And it's always hard to put losses to bed. Losses eat at you, and that's why we prepare and practice and put all the time into it. We do. We've been very fortunate to get into a point where we had not experienced that, and didn't play well enough to deserve to win, and that's what happens. So you got to take that, and like I said after the game, you have to. What is your response going to be? And I told the team, I said, last Saturday night, the greatest thing that could have happened to us happened to us, and that's the way we have to look at it. We have to look at that as that's a chance to really now. We talk about speaking the truth and hearing the truth. Now really to hear the truth, and it doesn't go back to anything on the preparation. Or we lined up, and best analogy I can put to this is what somebody told me earlier in the week. You guys all know I like NASCARs and race car driving and fast. Yeah, so it's you train almost your entire career as a NASCAR driver for what 1%, 2% of the times that it might get out of control, and that's when the strength training, the conditioning, when that back tail gets clipped and you start weaving and the tail starts spinning and that sucker starts spinning out of control. I mean that's when you really have to grip that wheel tight. Right? You have to hold on and you got to steer that thing out of it, right? In hopes that number one you get it back, you can get it back in pit, get it going and finish the race. Right? But more importantly, I mean, now you got lives at stake in those things. I mean, but such a high percentage. I mean, they're working, turning left and going, but when things get out of control, right? And that wasn't how we were on Saturday night, right? That thing started tail spinning, and we were screaming, "Get us out of this race car!" And instead of gripping that wheel and taking back control of it. And I used that analogy on Tuesday when we practiced, when we talked to the team. But I think when you think about it, I mean that's such the case. And when things weren't going well, we got to have guys, put their, and it starts with me. I'm talking about me, coaches, players, right? And you got to grip that wheel, and you got to get that thing back in control. So we'll move forward and take the things that we've learned and use that to continue to improve. And I thought we had a really good day out there in pads today. We did some initial game planning stuff, but we also did a good amount of good work out there as well. So we'll get some time this weekend. We'll be back on Sunday. The guys back out on Sunday, starting to practice again, or continue to practice. So questions?
In the game, I think a lot of guys play a lot of snaps on defense and maybe a little less substitution. I know you're down quite a few guys. Is that something you look at trying to get maybe some of the younger guys in, even if it's maybe in a situation you're not as comfortable with them yet, to try to mix things up?
Yeah, we've done it every other game for the most part. I mean, we did in that game. I mean, we talk about playing the players before the game, but look, I mean, if you think I'm sitting there counting player reps during a game, you're wrong. There's a lot of other things I'm doing, but then we go back and we see the guys play and participate, and yeah, I mean, and we got to continue to do that, Kelly.
How are some of those guys, Amari, Jai, Savion, how are they progressing? Do you think they could be back next week?
Maybe. They were all out there today.
Nice.
They all practiced today. They all had pads on today.
What do we use last year? Questionable?
No, because that has obviously shown not to really be the truth until the kickoff. So, yeah, I pretty much know if somebody's questionable or doubtful. Doubtful means you doubt they can go. They probably won't go. So, no soapbox today, Chad. They're all on. They're all ahead of schedule. All right, and we expect them all back, and hopefully they'll all be back very soon. You got me there because it was Thursday, and that's the only Thursday question day, so I couldn't say anything else. Yeah, you're wise grasshopper.
Brent, obviously you gave a lot of credit to NC State after what they did the other night, but you guys throughout the season have been able to tap into your resiliency after some slow starts. How much of a concern was it for you that, as you said, when things started spinning out, you guys weren't able to, in your words, grip the wheel and get it straightened out?
Yeah, it's a concern. I mean, you started off, the game really started out similar in ways, we didn't have the ball first, but similar to with the Duke game. In the Duke game, we got a big play on the 2-yard line, fumble return for a touchdown, right? But that's what I'm talking about with speaking the truth and hearing the truth, okay? Like, just because you get a fumble on the 2-yard line doesn't mean the other 98 yards didn't happen, all right? We got fortunate there. We got ourselves out with a big play, and that's happened a couple times for us this year, right? Well, we've kind of gone up and down. They've gone up and down the field, and we've bowed it back, and we weren't able to do that. They were good offense, and they did a good job of protecting the football. Where that's something that they had in the second, especially in the second half of the games, they had coughed the ball up, and they didn't do that, and they were able to line up. And I don't need to say it again, but I think we're all on the same page with that. So.
Coach, I just want to ask you about some of your senior leadership. Obviously, I know you've constructed this team to where it's at today, but what have you seen from them in terms of just after this loss, how they've been just picking guys up or just their consistent message to them as well?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because, after this loss, and you got people like, I didn't even know that thing worked. Are you okay? Guys, we're fine. We're pissed. We were pissed. All right, you're going to let one game turn into two? All right, you're going to sit there and walk around with your head up your butt and woe is me? Right? We got that out of us real quick on Tuesday when we got back out there. All right, Tuesday, then Wednesday. That's not what this team is. I got zero concern with that. All right, but I'm not going to sit back and just play it by chance either. So yesterday was a lot of good on good practice. I mean, it was summer camp type practice. Today, kind of half and half. To lack confidence because you lose a game, I mean, that's nothing. That's not acceptable. That's not something I even think about with this team. So I told him, I said, the best thing could happen to you happened to you. Now, you're saying that after the game. Of course, I'm not going to say that before the game, guys. I mean, but you have to you really have your eyes open, your ears open, and know what we have to get done. So.
Sure.
I mean, to that end, have you seen a different mentality from not just your seniors, but the other players on this team? Have you seen a different mentality from them in practices?
As opposed to what? Look, guys, we've had really good practices. We went out and played like absolute. You about got me censored there. Like, we went out and played like crap. We didn't get the job done. Right? We weren't in the right positions. We weren't able to execute when the time came. Right? You can't change that. We're not taking it back, right? I'm not going to sit there and tell these guys and these coaches, well, it's because you didn't do this last week. Well, I stood up after practice and told every one of them, hey, we've had a good practice, a good week of preparation. Now, what happened between the mental part of it once we got punched in the mouth? All right, now that's different. That's what took place. I said that already after the game on Saturday. We lined up, we went out there, in all three phases, we got punched in the mouth, all right? And we didn't throw back as hard as we needed to. So there's no different mindset on the team. They got beat. We got beat. I got beat. It's on me. Everybody wants people to blame me. Right? Don't blame each other. Right? But when I say that, they got to be able to be accountable too and look themselves in the face. And that's what this team is. They've got accountable young people on it, accountable leaders, and move forward. So. I was trying to give real good coach speak, but there ain't none right there. Almost.
I know the run defense hasn't been up to the standard for most of the season you'd like to see. Are there things that you can do to clean that up?
There's a lot of things you can do. We got to play full defense, all right? And there's things we'll change, things we're working on, things we spent the last 4 days addressing.
Do you care at all about the college football playoff rankings?
What do you think?
No. Will you care at any point? Maybe that's a better way to ask it.
What are they?
You're 17.
Okay. How many teams get in?
12.
Yeah, so I don't care about it right now.
But maybe,
No.
maybe in the future.
Yeah, the one, these, again, it goes back to just, you guys do a phenomenal job in this day and age, right, of pushing information out for people for content and people to read. I mean, it is so hard to avoid it. And y'all know I try to. I don't read social media, I don't read those things. I try to, but it's hard to. Just like we talked about with the team last couple of weeks, right? And it's what makes college football great. If there were no writers and no reporters and you guys weren't doing those jobs and doing the jobs that y'all do, right, you wouldn't be reaching the millions and millions of people that our game does. And I thank y'all for that. I thank y'all for the content y'all put out and the information and taking the time to check facts and see if it's correct, right? Half of it's real, half of it's not, right? And you know what? It makes for a great form of entertainment. It really does. Right? But the people that are performing are us, right? And we get it. That's what it is. Right? We got to live in truth, right? And right now, all that matters is how we perform, 10 days from now, 9 days from now. And that's the world we have to live in, because the rankings, they don't mean anything right now to us, because it gets us nowhere. It helps us with nothing. I'd love to be able to sit back in, 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll be able to sit down, and you guys can all come over to the house, and we'll sit down, and we'll all watch the rankings together and see what happens. How about that? Chad's going to be there. You watch. He's going to show up, man. Simon, I need help.
Coach, a lot of times with the coaches during the bye week, take time to do a little self-scouting. Like, what do you think that the biggest thing for you all to be able to go down the stretch run and do well down the stretch?
I'm not going to ask how old you are. I'm not going to ask, but have y'all noticed that you can usually tell the difference in somebody's age if they're reading their notes from their phone? How many of you see walk up in front of like a crowd now and they got their phone in their hand and we're all tall? Hey, don't carry your phone. Don't pull your phone out. It's rude to have your phone out in public. Well, everybody's got their notes on their phone now, so it's a pretty good line of demarcation in ages. Mom, I don't know why I'm still looking at you. You take. No, we have to look. You have to improve in everything. It's what we said. 3 weeks ago? You get better, you get worse. Right? You have to improve in everything. You have to continue to what you're doing well, continue to do it well. Play complementary football, and if I could just roll it out there and say, hey, here's what we're going to get better at, it'd probably be running the football, stopping the run, creating turnovers, ball security, playing disciplined football, situational ball, inside the 5, 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, 3rd and longs. And that's what we're focused on getting better
at. Where the second bye week fell is the approach from having a bye week earlier in the season. It was pretty early for you guys. Does it the same philosophy, same approach that bye week, or now with it being later and having 3 opponents left, how do you go about approaching it in terms of just workflow for these, this week plus?
Y'all have some such in-depth questions about things that I've never thought of in my lifetime. So I'm just, like you said, yeah, we threw it into the computer and it spit out the things, and now we're doing this amount of stuff this week because you have certain days that we're going to go out and practice. Right? We tweak and alter and change the practice based on what we need. We're going to practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday regardless. All right. Now it changes a little bit depending on when your game is the following week. Sometimes you have Thursday or Friday or Saturday, depending on that. But the schedule's the same. The schedule is the same that it is. What you do within that time, yeah, that changes. Going back to what your self-scouting, your recruiting, the amount of practice you need, the things you need to get done, but yet you also got to get guys healthy and get them back. So it's all in all. I mean, but that's you get in the back part of the season, right? That goes the same for any week.
Coach, do you have a comment on the Josh Petty situation?
No, Mike already put a comment out. The school put a statement out, and that's what we're going to stay with.
you don't read social media, said. Obviously, your name's been floated for jobs and things like that. How do you respond to that? I know, 7 years ago what you said when you came here from Alabama, but like, what is your response when people ask you about that, or how do you approach the coaching rumor thing?
Like that. That's flattering. That's awesome. Yeah, people have texted me, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of new friends. People think you're up for jobs and stuff. Oh, people can't talk to them 5 years in the profession, or texting you and calling you. I was like, what in the world are these people calling me for right now? Like we lost the game on Saturday. I get it. Yes, we got to. Oh, thanks, babe. My wife. Maybe I don't know. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's flattering. It's flattering, but not for me. It's for this program. Since I came back here, since I was named the head coach here, Kelly, outside of the time with my family, every waking second of my life is going towards building this program to get to the point that it is right now. Right? So that in turn we can continue 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, continue to elevate this place, right? To be in that conversation, not to be in there for 2 or 3 weeks, but to be a consistent team. Not when you lose one game, people say, oh, the storybook's over. Nah, it's just beginning. I could go on and on. I could say yes, no, all that crap. Slice me open and see what colors I bleed. Are you going to ask the same thing? Yeah. Okay, I got one for you too. I got a better one now. I got a better one.
Because you mentioned a few weeks ago, if it got to a point, you would address it with the team, or if the team came to you.
We laugh about it.
Okay, good, yeah. So
we laugh about it.
Yeah.
We do. With the team. It's flattering. Great. It's awesome, guys. You're going to hear it. Oh, hey, guess what? I went and spoke in Birmingham on Monday. I did. Me and our deputy AD went to Birmingham, and I spoke at the touchdown, or at the quarterback club. And come on, I mean, that's probably the other 50% that I was talking about, though, right? That just kind of unnamed sources or rumors or those things, right? So it's flattering. Probably a good idea to ask the thing. Oh, ask my wife.
When I come over.
Ask my daughter. Come on now.
I'll do that when I come over for the.
Yeah, there you go for the thing. Nah, y'all know me, man. I appreciate y'all asking it though. I appreciate y'all asking those hard, jabbing questions. Yeah, there he goes.
Gonna get real in depth here. Early thoughts on
total sarcasm.
Early thoughts on Boston College. What stands out about them?
We're just getting into them. We've been focusing on ourselves right now. Yeah, we'll save that for next week. I've watched a couple games, both sides of the ball, complete games, but I'm more into what we have to continue to improve on and who we are right now. Not the opponent yet. We still got some work we got to clean up today. Appreciate y'all. All right, thanks. Go Jackets.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man.